Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold talks with President of Sri Lanka Ranil Wickremesinghe in New Delhi today. Labour and Employment Ministers of G20 countries to meet in Indore, Madhya Pradesh today. Prime Minister to address the meet through video message. Torrential rains lead to flood-like situation in Gujarat's coastal districts of Saurashtra region. IMD warns of extremely heavy rainfall over Konkan, central Maharashtra, Telangana and Gujarat during next 2 days. In FIFA Women's World Cup, 3 matches scheduled for today. Canada-Nigeria match underway in Melbourne. And in Korea Open Badminton, Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty to play their men's doubles quarter-final match today. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold talks with President of Sri Lanka Ranil Wickremesinghe in New Delhi today. Mr. Wickremesinghe reached New Delhi yesterday on a 2-day visit to India. Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan received him at the airport. This is Mr. Wickremesinghe's first visit to India since assuming the office of the President. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar called on the Sri Lankan President yesterday evening. A report.
The visit of Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe is taking place as India and Sri Lanka are celebrating 75th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations this year. During the talks, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Mr. Wickremesinghe will discuss on a range of issues of mutual interest. Several MOUs will be signed after the talks. The Sri Lankan President will also meet President Draupadi Murmu at Rashtrapati Bhavan this evening. Sri Lanka is an important partner in India's Neighbourhood First policy and Vision Sagar, security and growth for all in region. India and Sri Lanka have a legacy of intellectual, cultural, religious and linguistic interaction, and the relationship between two countries is more than 2,500-year-old. Trade and investment have grown and there is cooperation in the fields of development, education, culture and defence. Both countries also share a broad understanding on major issues of international interest. The visit of Mr. Wickremesinghe will reinforce the long-standing friendship between India and Sri Lanka and explore avenues for enhanced connectivity and mutually beneficial cooperation across sectors. With Anupam Mishra's report, Swati Rakheja, Akashvani News, Delhi.
Under India's G20 presidency, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the meeting of Labour and Employment Ministers through video message today. The draft prepared by the Employment Working Group will also be presented in this meeting, which is going on at Indore, Madhya Pradesh. More from our correspondent.
Ministers of many member countries will also present their views after the Prime Minister's video address at the meeting of Labour and Employment Ministers of G20 countries. A total of 165 representatives, including 24 ministers from G20 and invited countries, will attend the minister-level meeting today. Union Labour and Employment Minister Bhupendra Yadav will preside over the meeting. The meeting will begin with a yoga session. Addressing the representatives of partner organizations like Labour 20, Business 20, and IOE, along with the G20 delegates yesterday, Sri Yadav said that India's presidency has strived to strengthen the legacy of G20 Employment Working Group. Sanjeev Sharma, Akashvani News, Indore.
Union Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat will inaugurate a 2-day national conference of Rural Wash Partners Forum at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi today. He will address the stakeholders from water, sanitation and hygiene wash sector to deliberate on the progress made and the way ahead to support the expeditious implementation of the Jal Jeevan and Swachh Bharat mission. The Ministry of Jal Shakti said, under the theme of accelerating progress towards a Swachh Sujal Bharat, the conference will provide a forum for partners to share their experiences, learn from each other and identify new ways to collaborate across the wash sector. India has signed a memorandum of cooperation with Japan to develop a resilient semiconductor supply chain. Addressing a press conference in New Delhi, Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw said there will be cooperation on manufacturing, equipment research, design, talent development and supply. Mr. Vaishnaw said the MOU with Japan signifies the confidence of the world in India's capabilities and commitment to building a comprehensive semiconductor ecosystem in India. The centre has prohibited the export of non-basmati white rice to ensure adequate domestic availability at reasonable prices. The domestic prices of rice are on an increasing trend, and the retail prices have increased by over 11% over a year. The Consumer Affairs Ministry said the prohibition on the export of non-basmati white rice will lead to a lowering of prices for consumers in the country. However, there is no change in the export policy of non-basmati rice, which forms the bulk of rice exports. The Employees Provident Fund Organization, EPFO, has added 16,30,000 net members during May this year. The data reveals that over 3,000 establishments have extended social security cover of EPFO to their employees. The Labour and Employment Ministry said the data indicates that around 9 lakh new members enrolled during May 2023 is highest during last 6 months. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at Air News Alerts. The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, has issued a notice to the government of Manipur on mob taking away 5 members of a family from police custody and parading the 2 women naked. The Commission has issued notices to the Chief Secretary and the Director General of Police, Manipur, and sought a detailed report within 4 weeks. It said the report should include the status of the investigation of the FIRs registered with regard to the incidents and health status of the women victims. Meanwhile, Manipur police have arrested one of the key accused. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said his heart is filled with pain and anger over an incident of violence against women in Manipur. He assured stringent punishment for the guilty with full might of law. He was addressing the media at the Parliament House complex ahead of the monsoon session of Parliament yesterday. On the first day of the monsoon session yesterday, both the Houses of Parliament were adjourned for the day, following a ruckus over the issue of Manipur violence. In the Lok Sabha, when the House met after the first adjournment at 2 p.m., the presiding officer disallowed the adjournment notices moved by members of different political parties on various issues, including the violence in Manipur. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said the government has already clarified that it is ready for discussion on Manipur violence. In the Rajya Sabha, when the House met after the second adjournment at 2 p.m., the leader of the opposition, Mallikarjun Kharge, raised the Manipur issue, demanding discussion under Rule 267. Later, the House was adjourned for the day. The National Investigation Agency, NIA, has arrested a student of Aligarh Muslim University for allegedly conspiring to carry out violent terror attacks in the country on behalf of terror outfit Islamic State. The agency arrested the alleged ISIS operative after extensive searches in Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand. It has seized several electronic devices and incriminating materials and documents from his house in the Lohardaga district of Jharkhand. Torrential rains continue to lash several parts of Saurashtra in Gujarat, leading to flood-like situation in coastal districts, including Junagadh, Gir Somnath, Porbandar and Jamnagar. Meanwhile, Met Department has issued a red alert for Junagadh, Porbandar, Devbhoomi Dwarka, Amreli and Valsad districts. A report.
Heavy rains for the third consecutive day have disrupted normal life in coastal districts of Saurashtra. Many villages and fields have been submerged in water and many have lost communication. Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel will conduct an aerial survey of rain-affected areas, including Mangrove, Tarala and Gir Somnath. Chief Minister will also chair a meeting with district administration in Junagadh to take stock of the flood situation. 8 teams of NDRF have been deployed in the rain-affected areas and people stranded in water are being rescued and shifted to safer places. Aparna Khun, Akashvani News, Ahmedabad.
In Telangana, incessant rains continue to lash several parts of the state for the 4th day, causing widespread flooding in low-lying areas and disrupting normal life. Gundi in Karimnagar district recorded the highest ever 211 millimeters of rainfall till 6 a.m. this morning. Telangana Met Office Director Dr. K. Nagaratna told Akashvani that a red alert has been issued for several districts of the state for next 48 hours and an orange alert for a dozen districts including Hyderabad.
Telangana is likely to have widespread rainfall over most parts of the state during next 3 to 4 days. Extremely heavy is likely to occur in Asifabad, Jaishankar Bhupalpalli, Manchiryal and Mahbubnagar districts. An orange warning has been issued in Warangal, Hanmakonda, Janagaon, Siddipet, Yadadri, Bhuvangiri, Narayanpet, Medak and Rangareddy.
All educational institutions in the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation area have been closed for 2 days. Several lakes, tanks and streams received huge inflows and disrupted road connectivity in some areas. The water level in River Godavari increased rapidly at Bhadrachalam in Bhadradri, Kothagudem district. The India Meteorological Department, IMD, said that extremely heavy rainfall activity is likely to continue over Konkan, Madhya Maharashtra and Gujarat during next 48 hours and isolated heavy to very heavy rainfall thereafter. It also predicted heavy to very heavy rainfall over Odisha for the next 3 days and over Chhattisgarh, Vidarbha, Telangana and interior Karnataka during the next 2 days. IMD said subdued rainfall over the northeast and remaining parts of East India is likely to continue during the next 4 to 5 days. The northern part of the country is expected to experience rainfall. In Maharashtra, red alert has been issued for Thane, Raigad, Pune and Palghar districts for today. An orange alert has been sounded for Mumbai. The IMD has predicted very heavy rainfall at isolated places in Mumbai city and its suburbs. District authorities of Thane and Palghar have declared closure of all the schools and colleges. Jaipur was shaken by an earthquake registering 4.4 on the Richter scale early this morning. The National Center for Seismology, India, reported that the quake struck at 9 seconds past 4 a.m. with the epicenter located within the city itself. On to sports. In football, 3 group stage matches in the FIFA Women's World Cup are scheduled today. The first match currently underway between Nigeria and Canada in Group B at the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium in Australia. In other match, the Philippines will be up against Switzerland in Group A encounter at Forsyth Barr Stadium in New Zealand. The match will begin at 10:30 a.m. In a Group C fixture today, Spain will meet Costa Rica at Wellington Regional Stadium in New Zealand. The match will start at 1 p.m. In badminton, the Indian men's doubles pair of Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty have progressed to the quarterfinals of Korea Open in Yeosu. The duo defeated the Chinese pair of Hei Ji-ting and Zhao Yao-dong 21-17, 21-15 yesterday. They will take on the 5th-seeded Japanese pair of Takuro Hoki and Yugo Kobayashi in the last 8 clash today. In cricket, India finished the opening day of the second and final test against West Indies at 288 for 4 in Trinidad last evening. Playing his 500th international game, Virat Kohli inched closer to a memorable century. The West Indian bowlers put up a much-needed fight, but Kohli's unbeaten knock of 87 and Ravindra Jadeja's 36 runs ensured India's control at the close of play. And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastava.
Thank you, Anuja. As Manipur shoots a parliament's temperature, the Asian Age states, India shamed. PM speaks on Manipur horror, vows justice. The Hindu adds, for held in Manipur assault case. New control room will track 66 airports to enhance security, combat congestion, writes Hindustan Times on its front page. In continuation of the Modi government's directive to take major events out of the national capital region, the Times of India headline says, Prayagraj to host IAF Day Parade fly past on October 8th. And finally, a headline in the Indian Express says, Games to Puzzles. Learning kits launched for kids in Anganwadis included in the Khel Pitara for early childhood play centres. And with that, it's back to you, Anuja.
Thank you, Vaibhav. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold talks with President of Sri Lanka, Ranil Wickremesinghe, in New Delhi today. Labour and Employment Ministers of G20 countries to meet in Indore, Madhya Pradesh today. Prime Minister to address the meet through video message. Torrential rains lead to flood-like situation in Gujarat's coastal districts of Saurashtra region. IMD warns of extremely heavy rainfall over Konkan, central Maharashtra, Telangana and Gujarat during next 2 days. In FIFA Women's World Cup, 3 matches scheduled for today. Canada-Nigeria match underway in Melbourne. And in Korea Open Badminton, Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty to play their men's doubles quarter-final match today. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.